Sombra is not OP. In fact, you could probably argue that she's pretty underpowered in a lot of situations. However, you can equally argue that she's pretty overpowered in a couple of other situations. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Stylosa, this is Unit Lost, and I've been playing a ton of Sombra. Now, as you know, I've played a lot of Sombra at BlizzCon. It wasn't in the ideal situation because, you know, it's BlizzCon, it's show floor stuff. It's not great. Most of the people you play against are generally not great. Also, the setup of the machines, it's hard to play, DPI issues, blah, blah, blah. However, since I've been back home, I've clocked some 13 hours, I think, of Sombra gameplay, and it's very, very interesting because she really isn't OP. I think, if anything, you can probably argue that she is underpowered. You see, she kind of strikes me like Ana, which is a very difficult hero to master, but more so than Ana because she is so dependent on team coordination. I think once people start building teams around Sombra, she could be extremely powerful, and I honestly expect high-level players, especially the pros, to be able to do some absolutely insane things with Sombra. So let's go into this. Let's go through her abilities to begin with. So let's talk about the SMG, so her primary damage source. Now, Sombra does not do damage. Sombra does a woefully small amount of damage. This is because the spread on her SMG is so wild. Now, if you're point blank on somebody firing into their head, sure, you're going to do a ton of damage to them. The problem is, in a point blank situation against any other hero that is not a tank, it is very difficult to land consistent headshots because of the spread, even if you are point blank. So don't be thinking you're in a situation where you can run around in Viz, find a Zenyatta and instantly burn him down. Sombra is not Tracer. Tracer's burst damage is just immense compared to Sombra. Sombra's damage is better suited to firing at tanks because you're going to get a lot of hits on your Roadhogs, on your Reinhardts, on your Divas, anybody like that, or your Winston. She's surprisingly pretty good against Winston, even though the developers did say Winston is somewhat of a counter. Not in my opinion, because you can hack Winston and then just burn him down and he can't really do anything about it. So yeah, she's really good against large targets, but smaller targets, not so much. So what is the point of the SMG? Well, we'll get onto that a little bit later on because her damage is so small, and in a lot of the games that I've played, I've honestly been struggling to do like 3k damage, and that is like, that's nothing. That is absolutely nothing, but I've been really struggling, and this is with constant damage going off. You can see me in the background. I've been playing Sombra quite well and going on large elimination streaks and doing all that stuff, yet the damage is woefully low. But as I said, we'll get onto this in a minute. So let's talk about the hack. This is probably the most broken ability Sombra's got because of the fact you can hack health packs. Now, what happens is you can hack any of the health packs as the game starts. So you can't hack them in the setup mode. So you can't run around and hack all of the packs before the enemy team start the attack. However, you can hack, let's say you're on Hanamura or Hollywood. These are maps I would consider, or like anything, like King's Row, any kind of standard map that isn't a control point map. And don't get me wrong, Sombra is still crazy good on control point maps when it comes to hacking the health packs. You can shut down the enemy's use of the large health packs, which severely, I mean severely, ruins their attack, like in a massive way. So what you would do is, as the game starts, you would hack a health pack, then you would teleport back to your defensive location and then hack maybe the large health pack in that area. So on Hollywood, you'd hack the health pack out to the front by the enemy spawn, and then you would teleport back, and then you would hack like the larger health pack that you can find inside the building as you kind of go around the point on Hollywood. So you kind of control both packs. What it means is, for 1 minute, which is a hell of a long time, I mean, this needs to be nerfed down, I think. This needs to be like maybe 30 seconds or maybe 40 seconds, but definitely 1 minute seems way too much at the moment. Sombra can prevent the enemy from using these packs, right? The enemy Sombra cannot counter-hack them, so they're yours, right? She can't do anything about them. Because I was at first thinking maybe if there was an enemy Sombra, she could hack them back. That would kind of make sense, but you can't. They respawn way quicker for your team, and the enemy team can't use them. So you could get into interesting situations where you can fight around a health pack because it pops up so quick, you can just keep healing yourself. I put a video out on this where I showed myself killing Genji and Tracer in a 2v1 situation. Now, admittedly, it was at BlizzCon, quality of the players, you know, questionable, whatever, but it did show you how powerful that can be, especially if Sombra is operating away from the team. So I think that needs to be looked at. Now, the other thing as well with the hack is I very rarely found myself hacking enemy players because it was almost pointless, because the way this works is it auto locks on and you start hacking, but you have to channel the hack for a couple of seconds. But if you take damage, it stops the hack. Now, this is the conundrum with Sombra. You either go in and start hacking them and hope that they don't damage you back, because if they do, they will win the duel, because by that time you pull out your SMG and you start firing, they're going to have done damage to you, you're not going to be able to do enough damage to them, and you will die. So I found myself going in and wanting to instantly fire at them in the head, because that's where you get the advantage. The advantage of the ambush, the shock, the surprise. You're running around invis, they can't see you, you line up the headshot, you come out of invis and you start unloading into their head. That's where you do the most damage. So in almost every single case, it seems much better to do that than actually hack somebody. The only time I would probably hack somebody is if maybe I got above a Reinhardt or around the side of a Reinhardt and I wanted to hack him so he couldn't use his shield. Honestly, in any other situation, I don't know, it's kind of negligible. If a Winston dives at you, like I said earlier, yeah, maybe you can hack him fast, but you've got to be really quick, because Winston's going to do damage to you with his splash damage and take you out. So again, in that example, I was kind of wrong what I said earlier. You have to hack him before he knows about it. So it's a weird ability, the hack. It's on the one hand really powerful, and on the other hand just not worth using. So it's super interesting to me. Now the invis, a lot of people are screaming for this to be nerfed. I'm kind of okay with the invisibility, because Sombra really needs this because her damage is so low. Sombra, so the way I've been using the invisibility is I use it as the engage, right? I will put down the translocator or the teleporter, but I'm going to call it the telly from now on, just to shorten it down. I'll put that down on a health pack that I've hacked. I will go invis, I will run into the enemy, and then I will start firing at a squishy target and try and take them out. Unless I notice a target that is critically injured, because obviously Sombra's passive shows you critically injured enemies through the wall, so you can find them and just kill them really quick. Now that really works well with Sombra because her damage is so low, so you almost find yourself hunting out these low health targets. However, if there are no low health targets, then obviously you need to jump into somebody who is a bit squishy and try and do damage. So I'd run in with the invis, I'd start doing damage to them, and unless I could get them in a 1v1 situation and it was somebody like Zenyatta or, you know, somebody else who's with maybe an Anna and she misses a sleep dart, then I'd probably stay and try and kill them. But if not, I would instantly port out. Now here's the thing, right? You've not really done anything as Sombra there. You kind of go in, you try and kill somebody with invis, you don't kill anyone, you port back out. You've not done anything. Like, your impact on the game is like nothing there. Like, they just carry on. They just heal up, they get ulti charge, and they carry on. So I think the invis, even though a lot of people are calling for it to be nerfed, I kind of think it's okay, even with its cooldown, even with the speed boost it gives you, and even with the fact you just literally cannot see Sombra unless she's standing on top of you, or unless she, like, bumps into you. Because I've had that happen a few times, and it's pretty funny. Like, you'll be running around, and then suddenly you hit something. It's like, what? You hit Sombra. I mean, you might quickly see her and be able to do damage to her, but yeah, I honestly don't think the invis needs looking at. Not yet, anyway. So, teleport. Again, I'm kind of okay with the teleport because you can do some interesting things with invis and teleport. So, well, while you're invis, you can throw the teleporter, and then you can teleport to it, and you still remain invis. So that's pretty funky that you can do that. It's a very nice ability for moving around the map. It's very nice if you get really clever with where you place the actual teleporter itself, because there's been a number of times where Reinhardt has found my teleporter and he's just swinging his hammer. Like, he's waiting for me to recall back to it, because that's basically what it is, right? A recall. So I teleport back to it, and suddenly I'm getting smashed in by Reinhardt and I'm dead. Or I've had like a Reaper just wait for me and kills me straight away. So players have already got used to looking for the teleporter, and it does stand out quite a lot. It's got a little glow to it, and it's, you know, it's fairly big, so you can see this thing. So you kind of have to get cute with where you want to put it. But you don't have to use it as a defense mechanism. You can use it as an engage, and you can throw the teleport, like, you can get into a fight with somebody, and actually this is kind of a nice thing I like to do. When you're in a 1v1 situation, you can throw the teleporter up into the air, and while you're firing at them, teleport yourself above them and fire at them as you fall down. And it does kind of give you the advantage, but you have to be really fast to be able to do it. It's like a super high skill move, but it is absolutely doable. So yeah, I think the teleporter's okay. I think on the other hand, we're going to see a lot of the maps getting broken, and in the patch notes it'll be like, fix the Sombra teleporter exploit, because the fact you can throw it, you can maybe get into some funny situations with it, I reckon. But we'll see that. Oh god, I slapped the microphone. I'm sorry if you guys heard that. I got animated and threw my hands around like, oh god. But if you guys see that kind of stuff with Sombra in the future, I wouldn't be surprised. Passive. Alright, now the passive I think is a bit too good, because it shows you people under 50% of their natural health. Now, the passive explanation is critically injured people. I wouldn't necessarily say if you've got 50% health, you're critically injured. Now, you can clearly see the reason why they've done this, because Sombra does so low damage, she has to focus on targets that are almost dead. And if you look at Sombra's toolkit, she is perfectly designed for this. If a team fight breaks out and people start trying to move into locations or maybe run for health packs, you can go invis, or you can use your teleporter, or use them both at the same time to rapidly catch up with them and finish them off. There are a lot of times where people get involved in a duel with me and don't realise that I'm playing Sombra, so hang on a minute, if you take critical damage off me, which is 50% of your natural health currently, but I expect this to get nerfed, I can still see see you. And you'll see them hiding around the corner. It's like, I know where you are. And a lot of the time, you line up headshots. It's pretty much exactly the same thing you do with a Widowmaker ultimate. You line the headshots up. So it's really powerful in a 1v1 situation. In fact, just to jump back onto the teleport, not the teleport, sorry, the invis for a moment, you will get detected if Hanzo's Sonic Arrow finds you, or you walk through it, or if Widowmaker uses her ultimate. And when you do get detected, it does clearly say in the middle of the screen, detected, so you know you're no longer invisible. So it's pointless you being invis at that point. I guess maybe not if you wanted the movement speed, but... And while you are invis as well, you can't instantly start firing. There is a cooldown, so when you want to do another action, which you can do any other action, and it will cancel the invis unless it's throwing the teleporter and activating the teleporter. So if you are playing on PC and you press alternate fire, so right click, or you try and fire your primary weapon, you will come out of invis and then start firing. So it's not instant. If it was instant, I think that would be ridiculous. That would be a bit too good. So I'm kind of happy that's there. Alright, so what do I think about Sombra? Her skill cap is extremely high, okay? And I mean extremely high, like way more so than Ana. With Ana, she took some time to come into the meta, and teams started to build around Ana. I think we're going to see this with Sombra. Well, actually, I guess I should speak about the ultimate. I was going to leave the ultimate till the end, but you know what? Let's just talk about the ultimate now, because it's the biggest problem I've got with Sombra, is her ultimate. There's a couple of issues with this. It feels really crap to use. Like, you use the ultimate, and it's like, what have I done? Well, what you have done is destroyed enemy barriers, destroyed enemy shields, prevented enemy cooldowns, show your team if they've got a ultimate available, and potentially interrupted any kind of ability that they were using. Although it's very finicky. That's probably the word I'm after. Like, you can stop Roadhog using his ultimate mid-ultimate, but you can't stop Soldier using his ultimate mid-ultimate with your ultimate. Weird. Really, really weird. So yeah, let me just jump back into the other thing about a team being built around Sombra, because this is totally relevant to the EMP. If you go in and just EMP, it's like a pointless thing to do, right? You go in EMP, it's like, great, you've stopped them using their abilities for a short duration, but what's going on? Is that really going to turn the fight? I don't know. Maybe you could argue yes if the teams are coordinated, which is obviously very difficult to do at the moment on the PTR. What I envision in my head is almost like Sombra initiating the fight, right? So you imagine you're on Dorado, it's the first point, the enemy are pretty well entrenched in. You know the enemy May's got her ultimate available. You know the enemy Mercy's got her res available. Maybe the Reinhardt's got his Earth Shatter available. Well, they cannot stop you getting into their team and hitting them with the EMP. This is where I think it's going to be crazy powerful, right? So what you would do in this case, the team would be coordinated. Sombra goes in, she probably teleports in, she drops her EMP at the exact moment your team engage. Now, you have a couple of seconds there where the enemies just cannot use their abilities. So you can get in there and start killing them. You want to kill the Mercy, you want to kill the May. You're going to win the fight, and it's going to destroy Reinhardt's barrier as well. So in that case, it is a massively powerful ultimate. The thing is, it just doesn't feel powerful to use. It's just like, you fire it off and it's like, great, what have I actually done? You know, I think it needs to be a little bit more easier to understand as well, especially with the example of Roadhog and Soldier. Yeah, you can stop Roadhog, but you can't stop Soldier. Now, the thing with that is Roadhog's, it's an ability that he's using, right? So it like interrupts him in a way. But with Soldier, it's still an ability because it's locking onto you, but he's just firing his primary weapon, so it doesn't stop him. It's very weird and like inconsistent. It either stops all abilities or it doesn't, or it stops a couple, and you've got to get used to what it stops. It's dead strange. And I think as well, showing you what enemy ultimates are available is a nice bit of information, but it's not really critical because you do become aware, right? We've played a lot of games of Overwatch, so we know when Mercy's res is going to be available, or when May's ultimate is going to be available. You kind of know, right? So you'll try and prioritize them in the fight instead of just, oh god, they've got their ultimate and they've used it. You just become used to that. So having a little tick above their head when they've been hacked is like, that's great, but I don't think it really matters as much. And again, like as I said, when they're hacked, you don't really generally hack them with the standard hack. So Sombra's alternate fire is the hack. You don't really bother. The only time you're really hacking the enemy players, like 90% of the time, is when you use your ultimate. So it's a weird one, and it kind of needs changing, but I'm not sure how they're going to change it because it doesn't feel great to use. But on the other hand, in a coordinated team, I can see this just... I've just slapped my keyboard there. In a coordinated team, I can see this just being like absolutely, utterly mega, like in every single way, like crazy, mentally good, like holy shit good. So let's talk about Sombra in duel situations, because she can't rip people down. Like, she cannot beat Tracer in a 1v1. She cannot beat McCree in a 1v1 unless she somehow hacks them before they notice, right? And maybe they miss. Or she gets really lucky with the way that she uses a teleporter to jump around. Or and I think this is the way that you're supposed to almost 1v1 with Sombra, is you go in, you do enough damage to them to critically injure them, then you teleport away, maybe back to a health pack, and then you go and find them again with Invis, because your Invis will probably be back up, and then you find them again and finish them off. That is what Sombra is about. She finishes people off. She kills them when they're critically injured. She's not this one that just runs around like Tracer and destroys people, because tons of people out there were like, oh my god, she's just a better Tracer. She's not. She's like Tracer with one of Tracer's weapons, maybe even like 3/4 of a Tracer pistol. Like, it really feels like that. She's not a hero that is pumping out tons of damage and is destroying everybody. The way I see her is she's sort of like a utility flanking ambush hero, but she needs support. And she needs to communicate with her team. Not to mention because she's the only one that can see critically injured people through the wall. So if you see a 1v1 breaking out, or there's some sort of fight going on, and you see maybe a Torbjorn and a Reinhardt run away, you can shout to your team, they are just round the corner, chase them down, they are not moving, and your team will go and destroy them. And it is massively powerful. But as in the case of Tracer, she's not like a Genji or a Tracer in the sense that she can just carry the team. She's not going to be able to run around and get like 6 or 7 kills. In fact, Sombra's going to have pretty low, a low damage. She should still have decent eliminations if she's involved in all the fight, but she's not going to like kill 5 of the enemy with her ultimate, or kill like 3 of the enemy. I'd be surprised if she kills 2 of the enemy in a major engagement. Like, when I say kill them, I mean do the majority of damage to them. She might get the eliminations because she's going to do the quick damage to finish them off, because she can fire a lot of shots. She's got 60 rounds in her SMG, so she can spray this thing around and like hit a lot of people. Maybe it's enough damage to just sort of finish people off. You see, she's like a cleanup. She's like, she's the cleanup crew of Overwatch. She's not a direct assassin. She doesn't hunt people down and kill them. She hunts down injured enemies, or she tries to injure them enough to teleport out to then go and find them again and kill them off. Now let's talk about maps, because she's really strong on control maps. Every control map, Sombra is really, really strong, because teams generally get mixed up on control maps, so you can hack a lot of the packs. And I guess I didn't jump on this earlier, but I'm going to actually talk about this now. So the hack lasts for a minute, and I did say I wanted this reduced. I think it does need to be reduced, but there's no limit on this. So when the cooldown drops, you can hack again, and you can hack again, and you can hack again. So there's a number of health packs that you can actually keep hacked, which is like crazy, because if you beat the enemy Sombra to the packs that you want to hack, I mean, you've probably seen in the footage in the background that I generally like to be quite aggressive and run forward and hack packs that are advanced on control maps. So like on Ruins on Ilios, I would hack the large health pack that is like by the ledge of the map, you know, where you can get knocked off. Because if you control that pack, that is crazy powerful. Loads of people want to use that, and they can't because you control it. It's so powerful. And on the other hand, on assault maps and payload maps and hybrid maps, if she hacks the health packs on the point which is being attacked, which she can almost certainly always do, because that's where you set up your defense, again, that's really powerful, because it stops people healing them. And you don't realize how much health packs are used. And you don't just have to hack the large health packs, hack the small ones, because players use these all the time, especially when a fight goes south. They'll run out, grab a health pack. If they can't, you can clean them up, and it staggers respawns, and it is crazy powerful. So I think those are my initial impressions after playing like maybe 13 hours or so of Sombra. I think her hack is a bit too powerful. I think it's also a little bit underwhelming the way that you use it. Like, you don't really use it in a 1v1 situation. It's not like you go around hacking everybody. You just generally hack health packs. Her ultimate doesn't feel great to use, but I can clearly see how it would be a massively powerful ultimate, but it needs a lot of team coordination. She's definitely not an assassin in the sense of she runs around and kills you like Tracer or Genji does. But she still is an assassin, but she sort of kills you if you're really weak, in that kind of sense. She's very mobile, and she's got a lot of different abilities that do sort of work together quite well, and I think she's a crazy interesting character. But I'll be surprised if she hits live in this state, because there are some tweaks that she needs to happen. As I said at the start of this video, I don't think she's overpowered. I think she's sort of a little underpowered in some areas, but we'll have to see what happens. Guys, let me know what you think about this in the comments below. This has been a crazy detailed video, because I've got a ton of experience with Sombra even, and I'm going to continue to keep playing her, because I am really enjoying the way that she plays, and it's really fun to me, sort of the strategic element to using her teleporter, and also like trying to work out how she's going to fit into the current meta, because I've got no qualms in saying she will destroy the meta of the game, because her ultimate shuts down standard compositions. It destroys Reinhardt. It destroys even like a Graviton Surge combo. If you get graved and you're in the grav and you use your EMP, Tracer's not going to be able to drop her pulse bomb on you anymore. Like, people literally cannot use abilities, which is just amazing. It's absolutely amazing. Alright guys, I'm in Stylosa, this is Unit Lost, and I am back with daily content now. I've recovered from the BlizzCon jet lag, and yeah, if you did like the video guys, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I will catch you on the next one. Toodaloo. Also follow me on Twitter, which is @UnitLostGaming. I'll catch you next time guys. Toodaloo.